We thought today would be a really good opportunity to talk about Ingenuity, one of Eigen's key products, and explore the product a little bit more and possibly look at a client that may be using it, and the benefits that they're gaining from actually configuring the products and deploying it into their business. So happy to hand over to you, and it would be awesome to understand it a little bit more.
Okay, great. So yeah, we're talking about Ingenuity today. So Ingenuity can come in 3 flavors. You can have the fully user configurable version that we deploy in Atlassian Confluence. There's the in-between configurable templates, which is our mobile app. And then there's the custom dashboard. It's not user configurable, but it's fully branded. It goes through an MOC process and the data is quality assured. So what we're going to talk about, management of change process. So you validate the changes first, they get approved. It means that what's on display is always quality assured data. It's validated, verified.
Okay.
And it's a great way for, what people will use to share information throughout the company. If you want to publish KPIs, production information, I don't know, news reports, then the custom dashboards are a great way to do it. That's what we've done for Wintershall Dea on their Braga asset. We've built a set of custom dashboards that show production, some production against plan, some detailed stuff like what well they're testing. They've got details of all the various wells, and they're using these screens to go in their control system and also for people to access remotely. Now, the really interesting thing about this deployment was it was fully cloud-based. So their data sources are on-prem, on their premises, and we've deployed into their Azure cloud, and then we've linked our systems to their on-prem data. The performance has been really good. It's really fast. And we did it just before the lockdown came. So now people were able to access the data from their homes every day, see live data. And just this week, we're going officially live. Now they're going to promote that throughout the rest of their company.
Oh, amazing. And what do you think made Wintershall a good candidate for Ingenuity?
So Braga is their digital lighthouse asset. So they're looking for new technology to trial on it. It's an old platform, so it has legacy systems. So it's a great example of how you can digitize an existing asset. You don't need to start with a blank sheet of paper. Ingenuity connects to legacy systems. That was a beauty of it. And also Wintershall Dea is quite an agile organization. The Braga asset in particular has its culture is kind of agile. Because they're a lighthouse asset, they're looking to try new stuff. And so yeah, it fitted with our culture, and it was a great way to try something new.
Okay. And just for the sake, for people listening or watching this video, what is a lighthouse asset?
Good question. So a lighthouse is something you can see in the dark, I guess. It also stops you crashing into rocks. I think it's the seeing in the dark. It's the reason they picked it. So the intention is to trial new stuff and have it as a beacon of what's good, what works well, what should they roll out to the rest of the company.
How long did it take for the implementation?
We've actually done it in 2 phases. We did an initial implementation, which went in very quickly. I mean, we're just talking a few weeks to actually install and connect up everything. We configured some basic dashboards, and then we've done a phase 2 where we've done a lot more involved configuration. It includes now some automation of their well monitoring processes, which used to be carried out in spreadsheets, and we've automated the back end of that with our main user configurable Ingenuity core. So we've eliminated spreadsheets, and we're using that data in the dashboards. So in parallel with the dashboards, we've also automated some workflows and made life a lot easier and more efficient for them.
Okay.
So that's taken about 3 months to do that. We started that January time.
Was the idea of doing it into 2 implementation phases because that's what the business needed, or because they just wanted to get it in, bed it in, assess it, and then build on that?
What it looked like from our side was that they wanted to get something in and have a look. And when they did get it in and saw what it could do, then they had all these, it started firing off ideas of what it could do next.
Okay.
And so that's when it became well, could it do that? Could it do that? Could we do this? And then we spec'd up phase 2 and delivered it.
Amazing. And now that it's in, what's next for them? I mean, is it a case of, again, just bedding in, and then the project will continue to evolve?
So now it goes into a formal evaluation period where we're going to stop the fast configuration and actually get lots more users using it. Currently, it's just limited to 10 people. So the evaluation period is going to spread it wide, and then we'll review with users and get feedback. Then there'll be a review of that.
Okay.
To decide.
That's amazing. And I like the fact that, well, I know that we're in unprecedented times at the moment, and the fact that you're able to get it in before lockdown. So actually, they've seen a massive benefit from having it in place, especially with it being in the cloud, and their employees being able to work from home. So do you think it was perfect timing at the moment in terms of implementation and then adopting it?
In this particular case, yes, I think we were very fortunate with the timing, obviously not planned. In reality, we worked remotely anyway, though. So I think what's interesting is we could still have done the same thing in lockdown. We're based in the UK. Wintershall is in Norway. The Braga asset is anyway. Wintershall itself is based in Germany. So we've actually been having three-way remote working the whole time anyway. The deployment's in an Azure cloud, so no one's had to travel to the premises anyway. So we could have still done it during lockdown. It's just they'd have had to wait a bit longer. They wouldn't have been able to use it initially.
I think it's really interesting to watch at the moment how everyone is pivoting as a result of the current times. So it's really great to see solution going in and then being able to see the benefits of it so quickly. If you were to think about the Ingenuity as a platform, what would you say its top 3 benefits are for anybody who may be considering it?
Not in the particular order. I think it's the fact that it's cloud-based. It goes in and it connects to existing systems. So the install time is very quick and you're up and running. The next benefit is the configurability. You don't need to write any custom code. You can write code if you want in it, but you don't need to. It's got drag and drop interface. And one of the most powerful things is that you can make your own content, particularly with real-time data. So you can configure your own virtual calculations based on the data you already have in other systems. And then you can start to put spreadsheet data. You can convert spreadsheet work processes into online workflows and have that data available in other things. So for folks that need to work with data, it's very intuitive, it's quick, and you can make the exact thing you need very quickly. That's 2 benefits, isn't it? So what's the third one? I'd say, well, the speed and the modern feel. It's a properly modern app. We deploy it in Confluence for the fully user configured. It's built in React. It uses all the kind of modern stuff, and it's cloud-based. It integrates with security, so we can integrate with Active Directory, your existing logons and things. So it allows you to modernize your way of working without ripping out and replacing your existing systems.
Okay. And you mentioned that with Wintershall, one of the when we were looking at why we think they adopted it so well, and you mentioned that they're an agile organization. Do you think that's a requirement in order for people to be able to embrace Ingenuity?
I think the reason they adopted it quickly was because it's a tool built by engineers for engineers. So it's built from the ground up, understanding the business. So it's got the features that you need. It's not a generic tool that we were trying to force on an organization, which is a big differentiator from something like, say, Power BI. This is a specialist tool. That meant very quickly people could see it was going to solve the problem. So do you need to work in an agile way? Well, no, you don't. You could work in a traditional way, but it just takes longer and costs more. Because the benefit of agile is that you don't have to define everything before you start. You allow yourself the chance to learn as you go. The challenge with agile is the people that sign off the budgets, usually, because what you're committing to with agile is a spend rate for a period of time. If you go If you want to go in the traditional method, then you have to very tightly control scope. So it gives you limited ability to change as you go.
Okay.
I could
No.
talk for hours about that, but in danger of going.
Well, maybe we'll do another video on it,
Yeah.
so we can talk about it for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It's probably really interesting for people to understand that as well.
I think the reality is that you don't know exactly what you want at the other end, and I'm the same as anyone. You kind of know what you think it's going to look like, but no one knows exactly how to get there, and it's very hard to say at the start exactly what's going to be involved and how long it's going to take and how much it's going to cost, because everyone involved in the project is learning as they go. So yeah, Agile, we've just found, is a much more efficient way to work.
Yeah, okay. I know. I agree. I'm a massive fan. So yeah, I'm a massive fan. So I think definitely when you're deploying and building new solutions and integrating to the business, I think it's a really lovely way of the business being able to realize early ROI on that solution as well. And very much like, phase 1, phase 2, you're able to kind of then see the benefits of it and go, okay, yeah, this is going to resolve our pain point. We can now try and do X, Y, and Z. And then pop that through that kind of deployment process. So no, I agree. I'm a huge fan.
I think the challenge is up front, it can look expensive because what you've really got is a spend rate, and then the variable is, well, how long do you want to have that spend rate for? Because what Agile isn't is a way of achieving the same outcome for a fixed cost.
Yeah.
It's not that, or for fixing the cost and changing the scope indefinitely. That's not how it works. So yeah, it's a different way of buying things, which I think can be a challenge.
And it's nice because I think lots of organisations out there are looking to be a lot leaner and to work in terms of Agile, and whether it's sprint deployments, whether it's another method. I think people are actually understanding the benefits of it, which is great.
Yeah, and I think so. One of the benefits of a tool like Ingenuity now is that the code's already there. So I guess if you were starting to write something completely from scratch, then Agile might be a bit scary because you've got to keep doing it until you're finished. Whereas with Ingenuity, the product's already there. What we're talking about is how much you can configure on top of it.
Yeah.
So if it was like a house, if you're starting to build a house from new, it would be hard to do it in an Agile way because you can't stop until the roof's there and the walls and it's all watertight. But this is very different in that you've already got the product, and it's just how much do you want to build on it. You'll always get something after that period of time. There'll be something there of value.
No, it's brilliant. And actually, if we look at Ingenuity, when was it first developed?
We started writing the first line of code in 2009.
Wow.
It went live in its first form in 2013.
Okay.
Then it's been through really 2 rewrites since then, I guess, as modern frameworks have got better and better.
Okay.
Simple example, in 2009, for example, React didn't exist. Spring was in its very early stages, and now they're fantastic.
And do you have a vision for it for the future?
Yeah, I think I'm hesitant with visions because what I've found is that actually what's become possible is actually even further than I could have dreamed. But my vision still remains that it's about making information super easy for people to work with. So you have context, you can find stuff easily and move from finding stuff to doing work seamlessly, and then from work to learning and to decisions. Because if you do your work in an offline tool like Excel or something, it's just a dead end. There's no way to learn from that in the future. It's not searchable. It's hard for people to find it when they come in the future. Whereas if you can do it in a tool that's connected to the source data and is searchable, and people can all collaborate together, you actually enable your organization to learn, and it makes it easier to automate stuff. So my vision is around just almost being able to think of something and do it within seconds. You think, oh, I think I need to look at this, just a few clicks, there it is. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It's there. You're not spending ages trying to think, well, where does that come from? So my vision is not so much exactly what the tool looks like, but what it's going to enable you to do. So yeah, it's that seamless flow. It's that ease of work and enjoying it. It's almost like you're just thinking about how to do something and it's happening in front of you.
Yeah. I think as well, I'm not sure how relevant this is, but we're in this whole time where we just want instant gratification with things as well. So I think actually, especially within working environment, we want to be able to maximize our day and get to the things that we need to help us make decisions, to make choices, if we're running our teams, whatever we're doing. So no, I can completely understand.
So you raise an interesting philosophical point, or it makes me think of an interesting philosophical point, and that is the reality that real depth of skill and knowledge, there is no shortcut. So this is never going to remove the need for good people who are highly trained and who understand their job. And sometimes you have to do things the long way to do that. So I remember early in my career that the seasoned engineers just knew instinctively if something was right because they'd been through the process of designing it so many times. When I turned up with my simulated answer, they knew if it was rubbish immediately because I just used the computer tool, pressed the button and taken the answer. So I think we're always going to be when we must never assume that we'll remove the need for skill and experience.
No. And you're right, and I think we touched on that briefly in our last video. So if anybody's watching this, we did actually record a video just before this one where we talked about Eigen and how it's got to where it is now. And I think we were talking about the fact that software, AI, all those kind of things are never really going to actually replace people. We still very much need that knowledge and that experience, to continue to evolve.
That's right.
So it's amazing. Murray, thank you so much. This was really, really interesting, and I know I'm enjoying getting to know the products in so much depth. Is there anything else that you would like to share at all about Ingenuity at all before we close off?
I think we'll cover it in future videos. There's so much there to talk about. I think we've got plenty of time.
And that's so true. I think anybody who's watching, we have got lots more videos coming. So we hope that you'll share and let people know about this content. And please comment and share your thoughts or any questions that you might have. Please let us know, and we'll absolutely reach out and have a chat with you about it as well. So Murray, thank you so much. It was awesome talking to you.
Thanks, Effie.